Hi kids! Today we'll be reading a story from my favorite children's storybook, the 2020 Naplex Prep. My favorite chapter of this book is called The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old mother pig who had 3 little pigs and not enough food to feed them. So when they were old enough, she sent them out into the world to seek their own fortunes. The first little pig was very lazy. He didn't want to work at all, and he built his house out of straw. The second little pig worked a little bit harder, but he was somewhat lazy too, and he built his house out of sticks. Then they sang and danced and played together for the rest of the day. The third little pig worked hard all day and built his house with bricks. It was a sturdy house, complete with fine fireplace and chimney. It looked like it would stand the strongest winds. The next day, a wolf happened to pass by the lane where the 3 little pigs lived. He saw a straw house, and he smelled a pig inside. He thought that the pig would make a mighty fine meal, and his mouth began to water. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me in." But the little pig saw the wolf's big paws through the keyhole, and he answered back, "No, no, no. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." Then the wolf showed his teeth and said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The wolf opened his jaws very wide and bite down as hard as he could. But the first little pig escaped and ran away to hide with the second little pig. The wolf continued down the lane as he passed by the second house, made of sticks. And he saw the house, and he smelled the pigs inside. And his mouth began to water as he thought about the fine dinner they would make. So he knocked on the door and said, little pigs, let me in, let me in." But the little pigs saw the wolf's pointy ears through the keyhole, so they answered back, "No, no, no, not by the hair on our chinny chin chin." So the wolf showed his teeth and said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the house down. The wolf was so greedy that he tried to catch both pigs at once, but he was too greedy and got neither. His big jaws clamped down on nothing but air, and the 2 little pigs scrambled away as fast as their little hooves would carry them. The wolf chased them down the lane, and he almost caught them. But they made it back to the brick house and slammed the door closed before the wolf could catch them. The 3 little pigs, they were very, very frightened. They knew that the wolf wanted to eat them, and that was very, very true. The wolf hasn't eaten all day, and he had worked up a large appetite chasing the pigs around, and now he could smell all 3 of them inside, and he knew that the 3 little pigs would make a lovely feast. So the wolf knocked on the door and said, little pigs, let me in, let me in." But the little pigs saw the wolf through the narrow eyes, through the keyhole, so they answered back, "No, no, no, not by the hair on our chinny chin chin." So the wolf showed his teeth and said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." Well, he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he huffed and huffed and puffed, but he could not blow the house down. At last, he was so out of breath that he couldn't huff, he couldn't puff anymore. So he stopped to rest and thought a bit. But this was too much. The wolf danced about with rage and swore he would bring down the chimney and eat up the little pigs inside for his supper. But while he was climbing on the roof, the little pigs made up a blazing fire, then put a big pot full of water to boil. Then just as the wolf was coming down the chimney, the little pig pulled off the lid, and plop, in fell the wolf into the scalding water. So the little pig put on the cover again, boiled the wolf up, and the 3 little pigs ate him for supper. And that's my favorite chapter, The 3 Little Pigs, the 2020 Not Black Spread.